All right. Well, happy Saturday, Patriots. How are we doing today on, let's see, what is today? It is the ninth day of October. Well, we are in the home stretch as far as the year, as all of you know. And I've really want to make sure that everybody realizes what's going on in the sense of what Antoinette and I are doing, what I've been attempting to do with my broadcasts that go out across this platform. Over the last few months, with the changes that have occurred in our personal life, I'm going to wait a couple minutes. There we go. Who do we have here? Let me see here. We have Bob Hill. Hey, Bob. With what's occurred in our personal life, I've shifted, and I'm going to explain why the shift. I've shifted to a focus of, okay, we're in a rough spot. We have a choice here. The choice is we can bitch and whine, moan, and complain about the atrocities that are going on with the illegitimate administration that we all know is fake. We all know it's a farce. Okay, we all know that. As far if you're a patriot, you know that what I just said is a true statement. However, I would say about 2 months ago, I started to see an attitude that was very prevalent throughout the patriot community. And I'm talking about throughout the world, but particularly here in the United States. And that was a fear or a what the hell am I going to do now? And it was, and the part, and by the way, by doing just that, you're falling right into what they want. Okay, just keep this in mind. And I'm going to come back here in a minute. I'm going to show you why that is exactly the last thing you should be doing. Okay? I'll start off by saying this, that anytime you entertain, and what I mean by the word entertain, I do not mean the word entertainment does not mean, you're having fun. Entertainment, for the purpose that I'm sharing here, is that you think about something. So anytime you entertain an idea of doubt, of worry, which a lot of patriots are doing these days, okay, it automatically leads to fear. Automatically. No question whatsoever. You can ask anybody that knows anything about how the human mind works, which, by the way, and I won't get into the depth of this, but because I know a lot of people will be like, huh? What are you talking about? But your mind is in every cell of your body. A lot of people think your mind's in your head. That's not true at all. But where I was going to go is if you entertain thoughts of doubt and worry, or even anger about what's going on, you will not attract into your life the things you say you want. And yes, I do believe in the law of attraction because it happens all the time. Matter of fact, I'm going to go on record as saying this. You attract into your life exactly what you believe. Exactly what you believe. If you believe that good things are supposed to happen to you, eventually good things will start happening to you. If you believe that you are screwed, if you believe that bad things are going to happen, if you believe that the United States is going down and going under and all this kind of garbage that I hear, eventually your life goes away. Okay. Now, again, I know I'm not going to gain a lot of friends by saying this kind of stuff because they think that I'm supposed to be, telling you guys don't worry about it, be that way, and everything will work out. See, about, I don't know, 3-4 months ago, I said, look, it's time that you stand up, not on a stand up and attack the Capitol building, but it's time you stand up and say no. It's time that you stand up and say, I'm not going to live like that anymore. And very few patriots are doing that. What a lot of patriots are doing is bitching, moaning, complaining, and talking about how we're stuck with a situation that we can't get out of. That won't work. I promise you that does not work. Now, why am I telling you this? Because over the last couple of months, month and a half for sure, my focus has been to show you alternatives. And it will continue to be showing you alternatives. If you want to see the stuff that deals with Trump, if you want to see the stuff that is an atrocity, you will still be, I don't know, some people just love seeing that stuff for whatever reason, right? But if you want to see that, go to my Telegram channel, because that's where I'm going to be posting probably about 95 to 99% of that. You won't be seeing stuff on my profile page much about that. Here's what you're going to find on my profile page. You're going to find ideas about what the Patriot Business Network is doing. You're going to find ideas about finding an alternative way to create a lifestyle. Because the old way, the old keys don't open these new doors. And a lot of people still are stubborn, and they think that we can go back to those old ways. I'm telling you right now, you don't want to hear this, I know, but we're not going back to the good old days, okay? Even when Trump gets back here, we ain't going back to the good old days. And I want some of you to realize that you have to be willing to embrace a different idea. Now, that doesn't mean an idea of the New World Order. That is not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is being open-minded to other ideas. Like, for instance, back in the 50s and 60s, if you were of the belief that, vinyl records were the way to go, you could, if that's what your industry was, you could do really well by selling vinyl records. My mom had a freaking 5 cases of vinyl records that she had, and she bought it. For those that live in Florida, I don't know if there still is, but down in the Tampa Bay area, there was, I'm trying to remember what kind of, I think it was like a store that had records. You know what I'm talking about? And it was called Peaches. And they had crates. And it was really kind of cool because she got some peach crates and she put all her records in, the vinyl records in there, right? And, for many, many years, that worked. Would that work today, guys? Come on, we're all bright, we're all intelligent here, right? You know as well as I do, that is a thing of the past. Think about what you're wanting. A lot of you, not all of you, but a lot of you are wanting us to go back to 2018 or 19 and to say, hey, I want to go back there. I don't see that happening. I really don't. So you have to be willing to embrace a different way of doing things. Well, over the last couple of weeks, Antoinette and I have been sharing, like yesterday, we shared with a bunch of people, different ways to create an income. Because in this administration that I talked about in the very beginning here, you ain't going to create the income you think you want. Matter of fact, the whole focus on what they're doing right now is unemployment, food stamps, and having the state take care of you. Now, that don't work for me. That don't work for me. And I know a lot of patriots, which I can't see names yet. I will here in a minute. But I know a lot of people will say, well, I ain't going to do that either. But what about what happens when push comes to shove? What about what happens when your retirement check goes away? What about what happens when Social Security goes away? Because Biden's already after that, okay? What about what happens when all the ways you used to make money, what about when that goes away? Now, I never said it was fair or that it was right, okay? We got to get past what's fair, what's right. We got to get past what violates the amendments or your First Amendment, your Fifth Amendment, your Fourth Amendment. Do you even know what the amendments are? Most people know what First Amendment is, but if I asked you what your Fourth Amendment was, without looking it up, would you know what that means? See, the point that I'm getting at is, yes, it's good that you know what was 5 years ago or 3 years ago. It's good that you know that. Matter of fact, I think that our country would be way better off if we taught our kids in school all the way up through high school and into college about what our country was all about, what founded our country, what the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, all of that. That's what should be taught. But what if it isn't? What if it isn't? Then what are you going to do about your situation? Because bitching, moaning, complaining, that ain't going to cut it. That ain't going to get it, guys. That is not going to get it. So life is about making choices. You have to choose to say, okay, I'm going to submit to this BS, which I don't recommend, or I've got to find another way. Well, that's what we're showing people. And that's what you're going to see with the primary of my Facebook post. And I know some of you don't like that. I know you want me to be posting, about the atrocities with Biden, and you want me to be posting about all that other stuff. And I say this with all due respect. You have that right. You should always have that right. But you're not going to see that. So what I'm saying here is very simple. It's really simple. Is that if you're not going to support me, like most of you have for the last several months, but if you're not going to support me in what I'm trying to show you guys, then maybe this is not the fit that you want. Because I've gotten a lot of messages about why aren't you posting this and why aren't you posting that? It's because I've shifted. I still am for Trump. I still believe that Trump is our best option, no question whatsoever. And unlike some, I still believe Trump's coming back at some point. That has not changed. But what I decided to do about 2 months ago is I said, okay, I better make sure that I give people an option, an idea, so they don't feel like they're totally screwed. And that's what you're going to see. You're going to see something called leveraged income. Not all of you. Let me see who we got here. Hang on. Okay, we have, we go all the way. Yeah, we got Bob Hill, Lisa Gardner Trudeau, Becky Hoffman. We got Missy Turner. We got, okay, here's where I believe it's pronounced Gehl, Gehl, Ham. Then we have William Darrell Dorton Jr., Sybil Jones. We have Carmen. Ooh, boy, this is going to be good. I believe it's pronounced Pro, last name. We got my buddy here, Richard Scott. How you doing, Richard? We got Steve Erzinger, Wallace Smith. Some of these are very well-known names, people that I know. Some of them are people that are on our team. Lizzie D, Wallace Smith, Scott Rod. How you doing, Scott? Scott always brings good stuff here. Let's see. He says like a $600 bank transaction is chasing $400,000, right? Businesses and wealthy have accounts and attorneys. IRS doesn't chase that sector. Many get a letter and write a check. Here's Eric Ashworth. Here's what I'm going to do, guys. I want you guys to understand, and I know I have a lot of people that are 60 plus. Matter of fact, we've got a couple people that interact with us that are in their 80s. It's tough. It really is. When you've gone your whole life and you've lived it a certain way, it's really tough to say, okay, now you switch. I get that. I really do. I sincerely get that. But it comes down to a matter of either you do that or you're not going to make it. I'm being real with you guys, okay? Either you do it or you're not going to make it. Just like the way you buy products and services. There's a lot of people that all their life they've gone to the grocery store or they've gone to the mall or they've gone to, whatever, and they took their car and they went there, okay? Now, over the last 10, 15 years, we've gotten more, having stuff delivered. We've gotten more buying online and all of that. So some people have gotten past the 15, 20 years ago, but a lot of people still live in there. So here's what I'm telling you, and we got more and more people that are waking up to this. We really do, sincerely. We got a lot of people waking up to this, and that's encouraging because what my mission right now is to, which if you can go to my About section on my Facebook profile, you'll see it right there. I wrote that 12 years ago in 2009. I want to awaken people to what is possible for you. Anybody can do what we do. I promise you, there is no doubt in my mind anybody can do what we do. No doubt. Now, will they? I don't know. That's not up to me. You have to be willing because you are able. And if with all due respect, you could be 75, 80, 85 years old and you could still do what we do. But now, will you? The question is, are you willing to learn a new system? Are you willing to learn a new skill set? Are you willing, I should say, to do something you've never done? Now, I spoke with a really sweet lady, I don't know, a couple weeks back. And it was obvious she wasn't willing. And you know what? I didn't try to convince her. Who am I to try to convince somebody they should do something? Anybody that does that, see, that sounds like them. That sounds like the deep state. I'm not here to try to convince you. I'm here to ask you a couple of very key questions. What are you going to do if you don't do this? And just like I said back 3 months ago, 4 months ago, no, maybe more like 5 or 6 months ago, when I said that the mandates would be coming, there was a lot of people that said that will never hit America. Are you still saying that? Are you still saying? I don't think you are. If you are, then you got your head buried in the sand. Well, what I'm saying to you right now, based on info, and I do have some really good, I don't speak to them quite as much as I did when we were in the other state that we lived in, but I still speak to them at least once a week on a conference call, okay? And the things they're telling me now, you will see show up in the next 2 to 3 months, for sure. So the question is, are you going to wait until it, bam, knocks you on your ass? I hope not. Because I can provide a solution for anyone that's open, willing, and teachable. And you gotta have some hunger too. But it's just kind of like there's certain things that I don't like to eat, right? But if you put me in an area where there's no food and that's the only food that's there, I bet you I'll form an appetite for that food. The point that I'm getting at is with what's going on in our country today, and really the world, you can't go, well, I'm not going to do that. I would never do that. That's not real smart right now. What you need to do is ask yourself, if I don't do this, what can I do? And I hope the people that are not willing, I hope you find something. I really do. But I can tell you right now that what Antoinette and I are doing, it works. It works for those that are coachable, that are teachable, and that are hungry. If you're coachable, teachable, and hungry, then you should pick up your phone. Where's my phone? Yeah, here we go. I remember back in the old days, remember when a phone used to be connected to a wire, the wall? Okay, you could only walk a certain distance. That's how far back I go. Well, you could just pick this sucker up right now, right? And you could dial 972-834-2919. And yes, it's still a Texas number. Probably will be for a while. And you can ask me, can you share with me exactly what you're doing and how you're doing it? Absolutely. Ask anybody that's been bold and brave enough to do that if we tried to convince them. We don't. We don't. Now, for those that in their eyes, they feel like they got their money situation taken care of. Maybe you have $1 million in the bank, and I'm not being facetious because there are some people that do. Okay. Maybe you've got $500,000 in the bank. Maybe you've got, a good amount of money in what do they call it? A nest egg, something like that, right? So maybe you don't need the money right now in your eyes and you don't feel like it's going to be an issue. Okay. What about your health? Do you know what they have planned for your health? I do. And it ain't good. You might want to call me because I can help you there too. So anyways, let's see if anybody else joined us. We have Mike Linville came on here. Yes, Kathy Duran Langford, she definitely joined the plan. You should reach out to Kathy. She's a good lady. Let's see who else we got here. I think that's it. Oh, I know what I wanted to tell you guys. We were on the call this morning. There was a training call this morning on Saturday morning, and was well over 100 people. And they interviewed a guy who is a good friend of mine now, but I didn't know who this guy was when I first met him back in February. He used to have 400 employees. 400 employees. He made over $3 million a year. And they asked him recently, would you ever even consider going back to something like that? He said, no way. You know why? Well, number one, that's the dinosaur. Number two, do you know what having 400 employees is like? It's like having an adult daycare. See, this is where the paradigm and by the way, this guy makes a lot of money now. A lot of money. Okay? It's leverage, guys. If you wake up to reality, you will start to see that the old way doesn't work anymore. But there's a lot of people that sit back and go, well, I'll believe that when I see it. That's why you never will, by the way. I'm going to say that one more time. A lot of people will say, I'll believe that when I see it. Don't work that way, folks. You see it. This is why the Bible talks about vision, vision, vision. Oh, that's right. It's okay in the religious realm when we talk about vision. But when we talk about vision, when it comes to this kind of stuff, it sounds corny. No, it's reality. Just like what words are coming out of your mouth, because the words that come out of your mouth form your future. Do you get up in the morning and say, oh, God, I don't know if I'm going to make it today. Oh, what a horrible day. You'll have that. I promise you, you will. What you speak about, you bring about. Please hear me. Even if I reach one person, I can show anybody how they can change their life in a very, very positive way over the next 90 to 180 days. Now, I didn't say that you're going to get rich in 90 to 180. I didn't say that. I said you can change your life in a positive way where you will start to see a way that you never thought was possible before. Never thought it was even remotely possible. 972-834-2919. God bless you. God bless America. I'll be back later, probably later on this afternoon, early this evening. Talk to you then.